Cheers, everybody. So today we're going back on script because I really wanted to jot down some ideas of what happens to other collector boxes and the Magic the Gathering ecosystem as some of our main collector boxes that we focus on appreciate, like Lord of the Rings, Fallout, and both Lord of the Rings version, the original and the special edition. And reminder, I still have my promo collection pack going on of 12 like variety collector packs in the comments. If anyone wants to join on the journey to see how these appreciate over the next 8 years and join the little community that we have, I'll be posting update videos about every 6 months. So I'm really excited for us to, you know, to go on that journey together. So let's talk about you know, what happens to these collector boxes. So right now, money is really being pushed into, in the collector box system specifically, being pushed to Lord of the Rings and Fallout. And those are really heading the way because Lord of the Rings has the side of really strong cards and a really memorable IP and a really memorable moment in Magic. And Fallout was actually the initial leader for quite a while, reaching up to $660 for a collector box. And Lord of the Rings was actually right behind it because of the low print runs. Also is a, you know, similar timing where people were really excited about the Universes Beyond crossovers. So what happens as these boxes approach those numbers over the next period of time? Well, as prices go higher and higher for collector boxes, it pushes people away from buying it because obviously it's more expensive, and what that does is it moves money towards other boxes. So as we see certain collector boxes lead the way and push prices higher, you have the other standard boxes start being purchased more and more. The collector boxes, I should say, not the standard boxes, but the other, you know, normal collector boxes, those start being purchased because the mentality that people have is they think, oh, Lord of the Rings and Fallout went from 400 to 670. Lord of the Rings is 670 today, in like a few months. So, and let's say we're talking about maybe a year from now when it's $1,000 a box. They're thinking, oh, you know, let me get in on the cheaper ones while I still can. And that sort of mentality is what drives the diffusion of money away from the leaders and into the smaller, the slower growers, I should say. And there are still people like wealthier people, larger collector shops, who purchase the high-end stuff because they can sell it for much more because they have a larger clientele. So that continues to push the price up slowly for those leaders, but that's sort of the concept of how it diffuses. And one thing that I really love to think about is, like, you know, what are the variables that made Lord of the Rings and Fallout so appealing to people, right? Like it just fascinates me. What are some of the properties of it that really made those ones the winners? You know, was it like the One Ring for Lord of the Rings? Was it that specific powerful card and the one of one and Post Malone buying it that just everyone was so excited about, and it caused such a great hunting experience and box opening experience that now they see the whole set with rose-colored glasses? Because, like, if we're going to be honest, there are cards in Lord of the Rings that are weak, right? It's not like the whole set's super powerful. Yeah, you have really powerful cards like Bowmasters and the One Ring, right? But and you even have like Nazguls and things like that. But it's not like the entire set was overpowered, right? Um, and like if we're being real, you know, all collector cards are, I mean, it's pretty similar, right? Like they all have a unique design. Um, there are some cards that are super strong and a lot of cards that are super weak, right? A lot of sets have serialized cards. Was it serialized cards? Was that what made Lord of the Rings and Fallout so special in the eyes of everyone? Because Brothers War had serialized cards, right? And some of those are doing great, but a lot of them are not. Um, is it the fact that it was Universes Beyond? Is that what drove people? And is that why the reason that those two are the leaders? Well, Brothers War was Universes Beyond as well, right? And Brothers War is still relatively cheap, and you get Transformers cards, never going to be reprinted, you know, another great opportunity. Is it the power level, right? Because it was a straight to modern set. I mean, but you could say that about you could even say that about Assassin's Creed, right? There are some cards in Assassin's Creed that are really underappreciated and people are really overlooking because of that big FOMO spike in the crash. You can check out my previous video that I did about is FOMO bad, a retrospective of Assassin's Creed, right? People are still jaded by that whole experience, especially people who bought at the top and people were like, who had the mentality, oh, I knew it was always going to crash. But in reality, it didn't really crash. It's like still like 220, you know? Distribution price is like 188. So it's like super healthy for stores. People, the sales volume still doing great. Yeah, it crashed from 400, but that was not a natural growth. That was like a FOMO spike, right? Is it a combination of all those factors that made Lord of the Rings and Fallout the leaders, right? It's just like it's so fascinating, and I love to hear what you all think about why those are the leaders. But regardless, as those go up, people are going to start, you know, humans are so good at creating patterns out of nothing, right? And it's just a matter of time when those become 1,000 and people are going to start making connections to the other collector sets and the collector boxes, and oh, Brothers War is going to go up because it also has serialized and this card's powerful and it's just like the One Ring and or this set. But in the reality, I don't even think it matters. It's just like supply and demand. It's just that they're collector boxes. They say collector on the thing, on the label, and people like that, right? And there's a limited supply and they're not printed anymore. And, you know, maybe we'll just make up imaginary reasons why we think they're going to go up, and 50% of us will be right and 50% of us will be wrong. But yeah, maybe it's just our nostalgia and our memory, you know. But it's very important that whenever people try to create these links and, you know, humans try to figure out which one's going to be the next one, to always remember that it's nearly impossible it's impossible to predict the future, and we will never know with 100% certainty which is the next collector box to go up, or how high or how low a collector box will go. The whole economy could crash, and people who are forced to sell will take a loss, and people who are calculated and buying things strategically and only buying what they need, they're going to be able to wait it out and see the other side and get the returns, right? So it's sort of like it's a vision, right? That I have with this whole collector pack thing. It's my vision that it's like a solution to a problem. And what's the problem? The problem is that we don't know what box to pick, right? And the truth is like Magic the Gathering, it's vanity, right? We don't need it to live. It's superfluous. We're privileged in the fact that we live in the United States, and, you know, we can spend money on random stuff and Magic, and we also live alongside collectors who spend a ton on Magic the Gathering, and that can cause prices to appreciate. And that's the reason why, like, some people ask me, oh Dane, you know, can I just buy one pack in your collector pack? And I tell them no, because there's a possibility that if they buy one pack because they think that that's the one that's going to go up, they can have a totally negative experience, because that can be the one that crashes and the other 11 can go up, right? And so I'm so passionate about diversification, and I'm such a believer in it that you know, I make these videos and I get so excited when it comes to all of us sharing the same strategy and waiting it out the 8 years, because I think diversification of these collector packs is key, and that the gains in, let's say for example, the Fallout collector packs will outweigh any changes in the other 10. You know, it's like, will Lord of the Rings be 5,000 in 8 years? Will Fallout be 4,000 in 8 years? And what if in 8 years there's a huge market crash? Well, then maybe it'll happen in 7 years, or maybe it'll happen in 10 years, right? It's like somewhere in that time range. But just go on TCGplayer and look at the first page of Fallout collector boxes and Lord of the Rings collector boxes, and see just how many boxes sell until you hit like 1,000. I bet you can count them with your fingers. It's like, it's absolutely crazy. Look at the Pokemon boxes. I think it was in my very first video I ever made on this channel. And I just saw a video about Pawn Stars, you know. It was like a collector book. And some dude sold a collector book of the Dalai Lama for like $3,000. And that company, the book that created the company that created the collector book is out of business. I think they closed their doors, but that collector book, you know, can sell for $3,000. At least I think that's what Rick at Pawn Star could probably get for it, given what he offered. Because you know, they don't always tell the buyer everything. But yeah, I mean, if a book can go to 3,000. And me, I'm not a big fan of reading. I think I'd rather read cards. I think Magic the Gathering is going to have a really bright future for all of us. So, thanks for listening, everybody.